Innovations in reusability have become the new trends of the space race. It is no more an arena for the elite space gladiators, but for those who can embrace reusability and capitalize on the new age of technology advantage in resources. A modest aerospace company, located on the east coast of New Zealand's North Island Peninsula, has emerged from the uplands to seize the spotlight. Rocket Lab, an ambitious aerospace startup, shows that its Neutron rocket is more reusable than SpaceX Falcon 9. What distinguishes Rocket Lab? Is the Neutron rocket more reusable than the Falcon 9 from SpaceX? The Neutron rocket, what sort of spacecraft is it? We know you're probably thinking about all these questions right now, so stick around and keep watching. New Zealand Aerospace newly developing company Rocket Lab has been very busy working on a large project called the Neutron rocket since the company went public. Rocket Lab exposed certain details about the rocket, which could completely make it an intense rival of SpaceX Falcon 9 later in the future. Firstly, before we dive into today's menu, let's quickly talk about Rocket Lab. Rocket Lab is a public American aerospace manufacturer and small satellite launch service provider located in the Peninsula, New Zealand. It was founded by an engineer called Peter Beck in 2006. New Zealand, which established headquarters in California, United States. In recent years, they manufactured a suborbital sounding rocket called a TIA. They presently operate a lightweight orbital rocket called Electron, which provides services for dedication launches for satellites. On October 25, 2021, Rocket Lab was publicly listed on the NASDAQ stock exchange through a SPAC merger with the Vector Acquisition Corporation. Let's talk about Neutron. Neutron belongs to a certain category called medium-class boosters. It was developed to be about 131 feet tall and 23 feet in diameter, with a payload capability of 33,000 pounds to the lower Earth orbit. In terms and cases of reusability, Neutron will be able to carry as much as 12 kilograms to lower Earth orbit, although it's not as big as SpaceX Falcon 9, which is 230 feet tall and can carry payloads as much as 50,000 pounds to lower Earth orbit. Although it doesn't weigh as much as Falcon 9, it is powerful enough to launch as many payload missions as Falcon 9 can. Neutron can also be seen to possess several special features. It will be visualized as the world's first launch booster of its size, completely designed and coated with carbon composite. This metal is about 40% lighter than aluminum, the most common material used to build rockets today. Rocket Lab's smaller reusable rocket Electron is developed with the same material. A full structure of Neutron rocket is about 75% the height of a Falcon 9 rocket, but the Neutron only weighs a third of its height. The rocket's lightweight makes it easier to design its engines, unlike larger companies like SpaceX that build large spacecraft, which makes it difficult to build engines. Rocket Lab is currently developing an engine called Archimedes to power its Neutron rocket. The rocket's first stage will require 7 Archimedes engines to reach orbit. Then its 8th engine will propel the upper stage into its final trajectory. Rocket Lab's Neutron carbon composite structure makes it easy for its Archimedes engine to perform perfectly, meaning the engines don't need an intense performance and complexity typically common with bigger rockets and their propulsion systems. Isn't it astonishing? In a press release in December 2021, Rocket Lab said, "By developing a simple engine with modest performance requirements, the timeline for development and testing can be drastically accelerated." During a virtual event in December, the CEO of Rocket Lab, Peter Beck, said, "This is not a conventional rocket. This is what a rocket should look like in 2050, but we're building it today." Another unique feature in Neutron's design is its nose cone. The nose cones on current rockets are developed to disconnect from the booster after separation from the upper stage and fall back to the Earth's atmosphere. Unlike other rockets, Neutron's nose cone will stay connected to the rocket's body throughout the whole flight, simply opening when deploying the upper stage and then closing when returning to Earth. Although Peter Beck said, the answer is not throwing away the nose cone when you're trying to catch them. The best way is to never get rid of them in the first place. Wow, that's so exciting, right? To date, Rocket Lab has succeeded in successfully introducing the first devoted small satellite launch vehicle, called Electron. However, the CEO of Rocket Lab, Peter Beck, made a statement that the Electron wouldn't be reusable. Then, the company successfully recovered the first stage. That was when he explained that Rocket Lab was ready to do something he said they would never do: build a big rocket. Beck also distanced himself previously from designing rockets that will carry crew members and also resupplying space stations, although all their actions for improvement and building a bigger rocket is due to the good feedback from clients and relationships developed with them during operations. In an interview with NASA Spaceflight, Beck said, "Historically, the average is 4 to 5 tons, so large launch vehicles fly mostly empty." Continued, "Most constellations are 500 to 700 kilograms of spacecraft, with 5 to 11 satellites per plane. The numbers given fall within the capability of an 8-ton vehicle, but differ from one constellation in particular, which is SpaceX Starlink." Beck went further to state that cost per kilogram is a very easy measurement to understand, but I don't know of a single launch vehicle that's bought on a cost per kilogram basis. He also said that Neutron is ideally sized to deploy a satellite to certain planes, and is capable of lifting 98% of all satellite forecasts to launch through 2029. This could also be inclusive of Rocket Lab manufactured satellites, which would be a big plus to the aerospace company, since Rocket Lab is capable of building complex mechanisms. Most clients will be looking forward to when Rocket Lab can initiate a crewed launch. However, Beck feels they are not ready for a crewed spacecraft. The CEO of Rocket Labs, Peter Beck, said, "Developing a crew vehicle is different than developing a vehicle for satellites." Continued, "Neutron is about keeping crew certification from the very beginning of development, to keep that market on the table for the future." The present-day Electron rocket is powered by Rutherford engines, fueled by kerosene and liquid oxygen RP-1. Although it seems the same fuel mixture will be used for Neutron, Beck stated that, "Certainly addictive design, but more traditional pumps are required at this scale. Neutron engines will be powered by multiple engines, but not as much as Electron. 9 or 8 engines are superb if one shuts down, which might pose a problem, although there will be manufacturing and testing of every single engine. A small amount of engines is best and favorable, but large engines have low endurance." Beck says, "Neutron will have fewer engines." However, Beck also mentioned that a key element of Neutron's engine manufacturing will be reused. Reusability drives a lot of engine decisions. Unlike Rocket Lab's Electron rocket, which uses a parachute recovery system, Neutron will land more stylishly, like the SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket. The rocket's first stage will land majestically on an ocean platter. This is incredible, right? To achieve this, the engine will need to be restartable in flight to carry out the landing style. Other parts of the engine's design are also manufactured while considering a second flight on air. The purpose of building a Neutron is primarily for reusability. Neutron will also appear differently from Electron, lacking carbon fiber in the main structure. This is due to carbon fiber's low qualities when exposed to intense heat level, especially when on a return trip. As far as reusability goes, Beck does not anticipate a SpaceX perfect recovery system, but stated that, "Our priority is to get into service and deliver a customer satellite. Reusability might not work, and the mission will still be successful, so we can take some risk there." He further said, "I have learned to never say never to anything, otherwise it results in an unpleasant dining experience. But we have baselined some flight profiles with a downrange landing." Beck dreams about establishing a reusable fleet of Neutron boosters. He stated that, "Our engineering focus has been on reusability. We want Neutron to not just be serviceable, but reusable. Electron's focus is on manufacturability, while that of Neutron is reusability. Therefore, with Rocket Labs focusing on constellation building and reusability, Neutron is capable of attracting lots of clients for Rocket Lab in the space market. With its reusability, Neutron can deliver payloads to Mars or the Moon in the near future." What do you think about Rocket Lab's Neutron rocket? Do you think Neutron can surpass Falcon 9 in terms of reusability? Do you think Rocket Lab can outshine SpaceX in 2024? Drop your comments below in the comment section and let us know what you think about all this.